Happy Saturday night. I hope you're having a good evening so far and that you have amazing plans for the rest of your night. My name is Noah Haynes. Whether you're listening on the radio or you're listening on our fun little app or you're listening on a web player or if you're like streaming this from outer space and you're maybe an alien life form who wants to sort of check in and see what all the coolest, hippest, newest music is. Hot off the presses. We've got 5 albums we want to highlight. A couple other songs we want to note, some good fun, good vibes, and variety across the whole hour. Whether you are a metalhead or you enjoy some more punk rock or you like a little alternative or you like a little just chill jams. All right, let's get right to this first act, this first band. This act is Yard Act is the name of this group. They've got the new album out, Where's My Utopia? It's about 45 minutes long. It's an interesting kind of album. It's rock, but it's kind of like dancey rock. Makes you want to get up and move. And I like this is an album experience. If you want to listen to this one, Where's My Utopia? Because as you're listening to the whole thing, they're going to use these little like audio clips as transitions between the songs. I've seen that before, but it's always kind of fun to see that someone is making the album for someone who's listening to it all the way through instead of just the singles and everything. We've got a lot of good tracks off this album, but the one that I want to highlight tonight is Petroleum. I think this is sort of the best representation off the album. I like the little auto-tune, little vocal processing that they do towards the end of that song. I'm always a sucker for when people make their voices do something that they're not supposed to do. This is Petroleum here on Alt Culture Weekend. Here we go. We're big fans of movies. One of the biggest movies of the year, one of my most anticipated movies of the year, is out this weekend. It's a little movie I like to call Dune 2. Oh, man. Dune Part 2. I mean, you can say either one. They'll let you go with either. Here, take a listen to this.
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in?
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
That's right. The sequel to Dune, the iconic science fiction film directed by Denis Villeneuve, is out. It stars Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya's in it, Austin Butler is a bad guy in it. I'm hearing all these amazing things about this movie, and I'm going to go see it tomorrow. So I'll keep you posted next week on what my thoughts are. They're showing in IMAX. So I'm going to go see it. I'll let you know, is it worth it to go see it on the big screen? Should you see it later? Should you watch it at home? I've never seen Dune in the theaters. The first movie that came out, I was like, I'm not up to date on this. I didn't know anything about the Dune. And then, I had to watch it on the Netflix. And so I've seen it a couple times since then, but only on the small screen. So now we're going to go see it on the big screen. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to report back to you, and I'll let you know if it's worth it. But everyone that I'm hearing talk about it is saying that it's amazing. Some other news going on, some other movie news is, this is related to the Oscars. Because, I'm a big fan. They're coming up in about, so it's the second right now. So the third, so they're like a week and a day away. 8 days away is the Oscars, the biggest night in movies. Now you say, okay, we don't care about award shows. I agree. But I think it's just fun to sort of have a little celebration and note some good movies. And last year for movies, 2023 was an amazing year for movies. It was the bomb for movies. And so, in a good way. So I'm excited to see who's going to take away with the big prizes next week. So next week we'll focus a little bit more about the Oscars, because it'll be the night before, and we'll do a little in-depth focus on that. But tonight I just wanted to note that a little bit of drama that had been going on is whether Ryan Gosling was going to perform I'm Just Ken at the Oscars. It's traditional for all the best original songs to be performed live at the Oscars. So there's 5 of them, and you get to see 5 of them, and hopefully you get to see a good variety of stuff. Last year we got to see Not To, so we got to see everyone dance on stage. It was amazing. So this year, the fun song, because usually I like whenever they throw in a fun song, and the fun song this year is I'm Just Ken. And Ryan Gosling traditionally has not performed at the Oscars whenever he's in a song. Like for La La Land is the last time he was nominated for Best Original Song, because La La Land is a musical and he sings in it. And one of his songs got nominated and he did not perform it. So there was a tradition of him not performing his songs at the Oscars. So there was this question of whether he was going to do it. And he said that he was fine with doing it this year, but then I didn't quite understand why he wasn't tapped to do it yet. But then this week, it came out that he would be performing it. So you got to tune in your television sets or look it up after the show. I'm Just going to be performed at the Oscars. It's going to be the highlight of the show. The full list of songs that we will see performed at the Oscars. In addition to I'm Just Kidding, we're going to have Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For? We're going to have the Fire Inside from the Flamin' Hot movie. So that'll be interesting. You know, it's about the creation of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So, you know, that movie has one Oscar nomination, and it is for the Best Original Song, which is honestly my least favorite song of the bunch. The last two that you're going to have see performed is It Never Went Away from American Symphony. That's John Baptiste's performance, and Wazazi, a song for my people from Killers of the Flower Moon. So we got an interesting variety. It'll be exciting to see them all performed in about 8 days. So that's a little Oscars talk, a little movie talk in addition to all that stuff. We're going to be getting into some artist talk, what has been going on with the charts, what has been going on with our favorite alternative scenes. Someone broke a record that the Beatles had held for a long, long time. I'm going to tell you more about that in a few minutes, but we're going to play some music first. I'm going to play for you a couple songs, and we're going to start off with Mannequin P's new album, Nothing Like. Now, Mannequin P is not the real name of this band, but I can't say the actual name on air. So if you want to know, go look it up. But their new album is that has come out just yesterday, hot off the presses, is I Got Heaven. This is from my metalheads out there. This is from my hard rock people. And I am not super into metal as a category, but I like to have some representation. And so the bridge of this song that we're going to play for you tonight has a little of those stylings. But the album as a whole goes a lot harder on other parts. There's some screaming, you know, there's some yelling going on. So if you're a metalhead, be sure to go check out this album. This one's for you guys. We'll be back. Just giving you a little some chill energy as we transition into this next segment where we're talking about the latest news from the music world. The alternative artists, the rock artists, the metal artists, the other artists that, sometimes we pay attention to. We're talking about all the things that they have been up to, all the things of note that we need to talk about, and the achievements, the lies, the scandals, and then the fun stuff. Charli XCX, who we consider her an alternative artist here, she's got her new album she announced is Brat is coming out this summer. And then let's hit some of the Hot 100. This is an artist you may be familiar with, Joe. Where are the alternative girlies at? This is Joe Keery from Stranger Things. He makes music, if you didn't know that, under the artist name DJO Joe. His song, his 2022 song, so a couple of years ago, went viral on TikTok and everything. So his song, The End of the Beginning, hit number 51 on the Hot 100. It's the first time Joe's ever been on the Hot 100, thanks to the apps and the reels and the shorts and everything. So here's a little of that song, if you aren't familiar. So that's Joe Keery. He plays Steve the Hare Harrington in Stranger Things, which was, I guess, so they're going to be coming out with more seasons of that, everything. I don't know if this is a hot take, but not a fan of the Stranger Things show. If you ever want to get in on that, just let me know. Send me a message on the free Alt117 app or on our Instagram, and we can duke it out in the. So that's happy to see Joe breaking in. But if we're talking about breaking records, we have a new record broken. So Taylor Swift, she's always out here doing her thing, and she passed this week. She passed the Beatles for most weeks in Billboard's 200 top 10 in the last 60 years. So we're out here tracking this stuff, and she's making waves. So she has surpassed the Beatles in that achievement. You might say she's even more famous than the Beatles. Ask your parents, who's more famous, Taylor Swift or the Beatles? The 21 Pilots. They've announced that they've got a new album coming out, Clancy, with so they're continuing their sort of alternate reality with their music. With Trench, they went crazy into it, into all the lore and everything. Where are my 21 Pilots? Where's the skeleton click out there and everything? They're returning to it with the new album Clancy coming out May 17th, 7th album from 21 Pilots. If you go to their Spotify, their music right now, they've got all this like red tape on all their old albums. They changed their old album covers because we're coming back. We had Skeleton Icy which was scaled back and isolated because of the pandemic. And now we're coming back to it full force, into the lore, into the everything. And we're going to be playing their new song, Overcompensate, in just a minute here, in a bit. They're not the only one who is back. Beyonce, she dropped some music the other week during the Super Bowl. We talked a little bit about that. And she has knocked Jack Harlow, Lovin' on Me. His song was number one for weeks and weeks and weeks, and she knocked it out. So Queen Bee has taken it back, and now she is in the lead there. So those are some of the some sort of artist developments going on. I want to hit you with a new album that has come out this week. Jacob Collier, his new album, Jesse Volume 4, is out. And on this album, if you're not familiar with Jacob Collier, he likes to do a variety of genres, a variety of sounds. I think he leans more into sort of the classical type genres, where he'll have like international music or gospel music or like R&B, some of these or jazz, and so he'll lean more into those genres. But he's got a little bit of a wild side too. He leans a little bit into rock, he leans a little bit into pop, and so I want to highlight his song "Well" that he has on this album. It's not a long song. The album's fairly long. It's over an hour long, but he's got this short 2.5 minute song that I want to play for you tonight. So this is Jacob Collier. Well, this is Alt Culture Weekend. We'll be back in a bit.
We're not going to tell you how to live your life, but we are going to tell you to download the Alt 1017 app now.
Tuscaloosa's new alternative is Alt 1017.
This is Alt Culture Weekend. We are talking about new music, movies, entertainment, culture, and everything happening in the alternative space. This is the part of the show where I hit some of the random sort of stories and tidbits of the week. As a ginger, my ginger senses were tingling earlier this week. This story blew up about this Willy Wonka display, this Willy Wonka walkthrough, this event. Now, if you haven't heard about this, basically what happened is this organization, for lack of a better word, pretty much used AI to create an event, promotional material for this sort of Willy Wonka chocolate factory experience, where you could walk through, theoretically, through this chocolate factory, see all the cool designs and sets and everything, and, maybe get some food, some candy, some of these things, see some Oompa Loompas, maybe hear a song or two, and then meet Willy Wonka himself. So that was the dream. But of course, anyone who's using AI to sort of create the promotional material, which had typos in it, is of course not going to necessarily be the type of person who cares so much about the customer user experience. And so it was awful. The experience was awful. If you see these photos of this experience, it's like if you took a giant warehouse and then you just threw like a couple yard ornaments in there, like a candy cane, and was like, yeah, you put a little poster on the wall, it fills up like an eighth of the wall. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. And the guy who played Willy Wonka in this experience was a redheaded ginger, and he was in distress, and so the bad alert was signaled. What's worse is at this event, it's Willy Wonka, chocolate factory, candy. So you would expect you might get a little bit of chocolate. No, they got one jelly bean and a little daisy cup of lemonade. Oh. Now, come on. We can't do this, guys. If you're going to make a Willy Wonka, you can't do Willy Wonka like that. You can't do my boy like that. I mean, how could you come along and disgrace the name of Willy Wonka, disgrace Charlie's Chocolate Factory? That's Charlie's now. You can't just come and destroy things like that. So they refunded the money, thank goodness. They said they're gonna pay these actors back because they hired actors to do this thing, and so they said they're gonna pay them back and everything. But I do not think there's gonna be another night of this. And whenever I was seeing this whole experience and everything, some might ask, well, how it must be kind of hard to create an event like this. Well, let me tell you, back in holiday season, the city of Northport here in Tuscaloosa. So this is just the city, They're not trying to sell anything or do anything, and maybe they have some government funding and everything. But they created like a Christmas walk-through thing with like 5 or 6 different rooms. There was like the North Pole, there was Santa's workshop, there was a little elf on a shelf, there's a gingerbread house, and it was amazing. Like they had to put so much time and effort into making this sort of walkthrough. I, as an adult human being, went to it and I was like, whoa, this is cool. This is like amazing. Like not even as a kid, I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So it is possible to do it. and not be like a major production. You can do it with some elbow grease and some hard work and some creativity and some collaboration. But I think whoever was trying to make this thing did not really have those as skills. So they've been clowned on and everything, and into oblivion. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm aware of it. I'm a big fan of the Willy Wonka franchise. I love the books. I've read the sequel, if you were not aware that there is one. I've seen both movies. I have an opinion of which one is better. And this is the second one. And that's just a fact. I haven't seen the third movie yet. But you and I can both watch it because it is coming to HBO Max March 8th. So less than a week. It's going to be on HBO Max. So if you missed it in theaters, you can go see it there. So that is a little random story. A couple other things that I want to make sure to hit on the show tonight with media and things. We talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that they announced the list of potential inductees, which they won't announce who actually gets nominated until like late April-ish. But there's always and we had a conversation about this too, there's always a conversation every year about whether someone deserves to be in the sort of rock category. And we can go back and forth on that. We can go back and forth of how that works and everything. But Liam Gallagher of Oasis was very upset about this. And apparently he's sort of expressed opinions like this before. He said that some of these people, and he called out Mariah Carey by name, he didn't really think they deserved to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He said, quote, "As much as I love Mariah Carey and all that, I want to say, do me a favor and F off. It's like putting me in the Rap Hall of Fame." Then he says, "I don't want to be part of anything that mentally disturbed." He thinks it's mentally disturbing to just put these, if you just see someone who's like a famous particular artist, and he's like, to put him in this category. Has rock been diminished in this way by adding these people in? You know, I get where he's coming from. I see what he's saying, but I think we got to share the love a little bit. I think rock as a genre, alternative music as a genre, if we're just going into alternative music, there's genre blending happening all the time. I think the further we get away from the 1900s, the more we get into it's everything. Everything is everything. You know, that's kind of my take on it. But send me a message on the Alt117 app. Send me a message on our Instagram, Alt117FM, and let me know what you think. We're going to be coming back in just a minute to wrap up the show, and I'm going to share with you our canon. Over the course of this year, we're adding to the canon of viral sounds of 2024. I've got a new one. Stay tuned. I'm going to play you some music first, though. We got my Gold Star album from this week is from Everything Everything. They've got this new album out. Mountainhead is the name of it. It's kind of like rock pop a little bit. Like I don't want to say it's not pop rock, it's rock pop. I want to say the rock comes first. The pop is kind of adding a little bit. And they've got this song. They've kind of got like I don't quite know how to describe it. Some of the songs give me like an 80s vibe a little bit. Not in if you just think of 80s, it's not quite that or disco, but it's kind of in a different way. Maybe you'll find out whenever you're listening to it. But definitely go check out this album. Would recommend. Mountainhead is the name of it by Everything Everything. And their song that I want to highlight tonight is Cold Reactor. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll be back to wrap up the show. You are listening to Alt Culture Weekend. We are closing out the show in just a bit here. We've been working on creating the canon for this year of viral sounds, and I think this one might be a qualifier. Let me play this for you a little bit.
What's Duffy?
Duffy is my muse, and he also runs the cult that I'm in.
Yeah, so that's the Who is Duffy meme. So, you know, people have been putting that out there, using that as like a little bit of a viral sound. It comes from a Nardwuar interview with Grimes. And if you don't know who either of those people are, Nardwuar is a music interviewer, and Grimes is a music maker and ex of Elon Musk. That's the Who is Duffy meme, adding that to the canon of 2024 viral sounds that I think are, considered to be part of the cultural zeitgeist. I hope you enjoyed the night of music. We've got one more song they want to play for you. It's by Faye Webster. We played Faye Webster's a single off this upcoming album, Underdressed at the Symphony. Well, not upcoming. It just says already coming. Played that a couple weeks ago, and now the album is out. Very chill, laid-back album. And there's quite a few good songs on here, but the one that I want to play for you tonight to close out the show is "He Loves Me." Yeah, most of a good amount of the album is a little more jazzy and sort of coffee shop vibes and everything. But this was one that I think it gets a little more rocky, a little more alternative. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week right here, 6 to 7 p.m. on Alt 1017 WQRR with Alt Culture Weekend. and we'll do our little Oscars preview and everything, and talk about everything that's been going on the week of alternative music, movies, and more. See you next week.